Hi, I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst & Company. Catalyst & Company, where we're catalysts in each other's lives as well as our own. And we work at being the artists we've always wanted to be. Now, I'm living in Sarasota, Florida, and despite what you see on me right now, my traditional blue hoodie, it's very warm. It's very, very warm. And that means here in Sarasota, once the really warm weather starts, people leave. We have what they like to call high season. High season, high season, high season. And high season has always been for this area right around Thanksgiving to Easter, and then people go home. They go back up north, or it seems as though it's been trickling off the past few years. Where Easter happens, a lot of people still go, well, this is what we're supposed to do, so we're going back up north now. They live by this cliche that was built for themselves. So they skedaddle. They go back to north somewhere. But then there are people that are hanging in. They're like, no, I think I'm going to stay. I think I'm going to color outside the lines and be a rebel. And so they'll hang on through the end of April, May, June. And then they skedaddle because it starts to get really warm. And by July, which was last month, traffic just stops. Not stops. It's so weird because the city is in a strange area where it wants to be a big boy, but it's not quite there. And the city itself, the culture here is still living by the cliche of high season, out of season. And out of season again is the end of Easter through Thanksgiving. So businesses or performing arts, theaters, etc., and artists, are left high and dry. We're left absolutely high and dry. But one thing I've been thinking about is, and every town, every city, every state, every county, everyone has an ebb and flow in traffic. But one thing I've been thinking about is the wider world. This isn't 1970, it's not 1980, it's not 1990 even. It's not even the early aughts. We can actually reach the wider world. We can reach across the country. We can reach where they're having high season up north and it's warm and people are out having festivals and festivus. We can reach anywhere. So, I know I've been relentless about posting on Facebook, where I have collectors, I have an audience. I'm back to doing Instagram again. I've figured out how to update my website a little easier, so I'm gonna try and do that. But I think what I'm going to suggest here is that we start asking our audiences, because it's always the same people. It is the same people, although I am getting new followers and stuff, as are everybody, hopefully, that we start asking people to share our work. So that we can reach a wider audience. So many of us are getting buried under algorithms and makeup tutorials that have been going on forever. And a lot of pick me, look at me videos. People who are highly successful. We're getting buried. So I'm just going to suggest that we start asking our audience, our friends. I'm not how to put it so that we sound confident, but that we start saying, please share our work. I'm going through files of photos, and every year I do hundreds and hundreds of paintings and pieces of big things, small things, I've done hundreds of illustrations this year. I'm out in the middle of Burns Square painting. It's like hundreds and hundreds of things I've done this year, and last year I did several large-scale 3D installations, temporary installations, and people they look at my work and they go, that's nice, you'll make more, and move on. And so it's been really, really frustrating because because I'm in Burns Square, because I'm out in public every day, and I have been for 8 months, I have people who look me up and they go, oh my God, you're so prolific. And I really appreciate that. But what I also need to do is to sell artwork. Every day is really, really scary. So people are just like, oh my God, I love your work, I love your work, I love your work. And you're so prolific, and you're always working, you're the hardest working artist I know, blah, 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 blah. Well and good. Now I have to, as an artist, and as someone who's, been feeling really, really stymied, I've got to start asking people to share my work. Because I got to hang on to that hope that it's going to tap into a vein. It's going to, somebody out there is going to find me. And start hopefully, help the work gain wider traction. I do have a couple things going on. One of them, I've been waiting months for this to happen, but one of them is going to hit national news. It was supposed to happen back in March, and it hasn't. So I'm still out there tap dancing every day. Not just online, but also out in public, 6-7 days a week. I am here. I am out in public painting, talking to people, showing my artwork, blah, blah, blah. But what we need as artists is support. So, and I guess I always hate asking people to promote my work. I'm working through this with you. I hate asking people to help promote my work, because then what comes is an onslaught of what you should be doing. And I got hit with it yesterday, and it was just a nonsensical, you should, that really, it can't be done. I mean, it really cannot be done. And so it was me having to stand there and defend the fact that what this woman was proposing I do really isn't even in my wheelhouse, and it's not something that is going to be profitable or, give me great exposure, which I don't believe in at all. We've talked about this before. When somebody says, oh, it's great exposure, what they mean is do it for free. And we've all done enough of that. So anyway, I'm trying to work through this. I'm trying to figure out how to put this so it's like, hey, guys, let's all put our thinking caps on, because yes, it's not high season here. It is high season somewhere in the world. It's always high season online. And although the people that were representing me here in town are like, man, it's not high season, and they're trying to garner an audience by doing work, by showing work that is just kind of bland. I think we know better. We know there's a wider world out there, and we've just got to try and reach it. So let's put on our thinking caps and keep out the loud voices, the you shoulds. You should do this big project that's going to cost you money that you don't have, and take time away from you being able to meet people. So let's stay away from, and promote yourself. Let's stay away from that, and let's have a think. Let's have a think. But it's going to be asking the people around us to kind of help to promote, I guess, in the most cheerful manner possible. So I'm going to ask you, if you like my work, if you see my videos, you happen to like my work, you're following me on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, yeah, if you would share my work. There, I've asked that. So anyway, yeah, I've been down at Burn Square. I did try and make a live feed video yesterday, studio mate in another state. I got kind of frustrated because I was sweating so bad. I am right in the sun with an umbrella and talking to people and waving at the neighbors and stuff. And as I'm standing there feeling kind of just weird about it, because I haven't done a studio mate in a long time. And a studio mate is when we just, I turn on the camera and we film me, we go live and I'm just painting and sometimes telling stories. I haven't done that in forever and ever and ever. And those were shown around the world and in universities and colleges and middle schools. And, back when I first started doing all of this, my stuff was worldwide. It was pretty wild. But I've had people in Australia, New Zealand, and over in Europe and all around the world, in Korea, South Korea, who have written me and all across the country who said, you know what, I depend on your studio mates to keep me from feeling alone. So I tried doing it in Burn Square, but it was so distracting not having done it in a while and having so much traffic driving around me. I ended up deleting the video. But I think we're going to try again, sweat and all. I think we're going to try again. But as I was standing there filming it, and honestly feeling very much alone, out in public feeling very alone, I had people that work at the restaurant that I'm out in front of come out and say, hey, back, and talk to me a little bit. Passers-by, back. People slowing down in their cars and waving. I have a couple that walks by several times a day and several times a week. The husband calls me Spartacus. It's really cool. He raises his fist and he goes, Spartacus, because I never stop. I can't. It's such a high compliment. And then people walking through going, I see you here all the time. You're so hardworking, da-da-da. I guess the point is you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching, and apparently it's, for me, it's the community, because I hear it all the time. I'll feel very much alone. I'll feel very much invisible, unseen, kind of disregarded and taken for granted. And then all of a sudden, someone will walk up and say, I see you here all the time. I'm watching you on Facebook. So why don't we utilize what we have? I'm trying to talk myself into this. Utilize what we have instead of focusing on what's not happening right now, like the outside source, traffic coming into the city, the visitors coming here. They're not. They're really not in the numbers they have in the past. And that has a lot to do with what's going on in DC and within our own state. But instead of trying to focus on that, what I'm trying to do, and hopefully helping you to do, is to reach outside that hole of sadness and fear, and see who we can reach in the wider world. Okay, I'm going to bolster myself. We're going to talk ourselves into it. Let's get back to work at being the artists we've always wanted to be. Right? Yeah, it's scary. It's really scary. It's really scary. But we have to keep trying. All right, ciao. Meow, meow, meow. Blink.